Good morning everyone, welcome back to the Nature Patch. My name is Robyn and thank you so much for joining in on another video. Today I just wanted to do a little bit of a garden walk. I was going to do it earlier today, but we had a little bit of rain this morning, which was really nice. But as a consequence of that, the cicadas and the birds and the bugs are all going absolutely crazy out there. So I'm trying to do this with the microphone today to see if the sound is a little bit better. Otherwise, all you would hear is cicadas and nothing of what I'm saying. So today is the 26th of January. It is Australia Day. I don't really celebrate Australia Day. I've never really been too big on it, but something I do like to do on Australia Day is to just remember what happened on this day. So I just like to remember and respect a lot of Indigenous communities in Australia who find this day really hard. What happened in the past will really hurt present day Indigenous communities. I'm so lucky enough to be able to work with so many incredible Indigenous communities up in Northern Australia. And I've learnt a lot about myself and this country from them. So I am forever grateful, and they will always be in my thoughts for today. But that being said, I'm not going to let this day get me down or anything. I'm going to get out in the garden, enjoy that lovely king parrot who won't stop squawking, have my cup of coffee here, and I'm just going to take a quick walk through the garden and show you some of the things I was working on yesterday. Before I do, I actually went to my local plant and food swap yesterday and picked up a few things, so I might show you what I got. So firstly, I got these 3 plants. I got a cherry tomato plant, which is great because it can replace the one that was around this size that snapped in a storm. I also got a silky oak tree. This is a really large tree. It grows up really big, but they're one of my favorite trees, and they produce really pretty orange grevillea-like flowers. The birds and the bees love them, so I'll be planting this somewhere on this property, and hopefully whoever lives here next will enjoy the beauty of this tree. And I also got one of these, which is a black sapote tree. Produces some really nice kind of like chocolatey fruit. It's a tropical plant, so it doesn't grow too well down south, but in this climate, subtropics, it will do really well. I also picked up a bunch of cuttings. I got lots of sweet potato cuttings. This is actually part of my feijoa tree that snapped off in a storm. Really sad. And lots of small pig face that I've also planted in this little planter. I don't know if it's going to survive or not, but even if one of them roots, this should look really nice in a hanger. And these are all of my other seedlings that I have. I need to give some of them a bit of a water, but this is just an overview of this area. I've got lots of tomatoes that I need to pot up. These were some of the plants that didn't go at the swap, but I got rid of pretty much all of the other plants that I took. So I just have some leftover zinnias, capsicum, and some aloe vera. And I also planted a few plants that I got yesterday, so I will show you which ones I planted and what I got. It is bright and very humid after the rain. While I love the rain and it's nice and cool, as soon as the sun comes out, you kind of just turn it into a big sweat ball after a few minutes. It's lovely. So here's an update of the corn, by the way. It's been loving this rainy weather. It's definitely getting on its way. I haven't had to do too much to it. I haven't really even had to water it because the rain's just been doing its job. Got lots of other happy plants in here. Grass is going crazy around this area, and the pumpkin patch is also going crazy. Show you quickly. I've planted out this area here now, so I've got lots of snake beans on the end, some more purple beans, cucumber, kiwano melon, and a watermelon. And I've also started to plant this bed. Just planted some pumpkins in some really rough compost, hoping that they do okay. That's what this area is looking like. Go over to the other wild area. I tend to kind of stomp my feet around at the moment because we're mowing the grass and getting this sorted definitely tomorrow. But I just definitely get really bad snake vibes around at the moment. And this is the other garden. We ended up setting up a rain gauge that I got for Christmas. So some of the things that I planted from the food swap, I got some more capsicums. So I planted one down there and another over there. And I also got some more pepino melons from one of the guys there that always has cuttings, and they're really healthy cuttings with lots of roots. So I planted one there and then one near the compost bin. We ended up putting this weeping hose in. It basically just weeps out of the side. So what I need to do now is just order in a bulk load of mulch, probably sugarcane mulch, and just top dress it all so you can't see it, and that it evaporates a lot slower. I've also seeded this whole area here with green manure, so I'm hoping that this comes up. You can start to see actually some of them coming up. So I've got some beans there coming up. I think in here is also some millet or buckwheat and some sunflower seeds. So hopefully this area will be covered in greenery very soon. So something I've also been working on is planting some more natives around. So I got given a bunch of native plants they actually originate from the top part of Australia around Cape York where I do my work. But I just wanted to talk about why I'm planting native plants in a rental property when I don't actually own this property. There's a lot of people out there now who really respect the environment and really appreciate having native trees around versus just lawn in your backyard. So originally I thought, I don't want to plant trees because it's just a rental. I don't live here. I don't own it. But the owner has said that we can do pretty much whatever we want with the backyard, whatever that may be. So I've been planting a few native trees around, and with the hope that the next owner or the next tenants of this house, even if there's just a small risk that they value native plants and look after plants, there's a potential that those trees might grow up to become fully grown and start to provide environmental services for this area, such as things like storing carbon from the air, providing habitat for species, food for different species, and food for humans, because I've planted some bush food species as well. I just wanted to reiterate that there is no problem with planting plants. Obviously, I do things on a really small and low budget, so I tend to get a lot of these plants for free, and I probably wouldn't recommend putting in a lot of money to an area when you know that it could just be ripped up. But because I've gotten these plants for free, I may as well plant them and see how they go. And in the future, people may benefit from it. So it's obviously really hard to tell, but I've planted natives around here, like this native tree here. This will grow up to be about 15 meters tall or so. And then over in the corner along the fence line, I've also planted some more natives. So I've planted some acacias, just this one here. And they'll provide food and habitat for the native species. And I listened to a video from Bealtine Cottage. She's over in Ireland. She has the most beautiful, stunning little cottage and garden that she spent a lot of time and effort rehabilitating and restoring to provide habitat for animals and to create this beautiful space. And she was saying that it does matter if you do the little things. So a lot of people will say oh, I only have an apartment, I only have a balcony, I only have a rental, but it really does matter if you plant a window box on the side of your windowsill, if you plant one little pot of herbs, because that's not only providing yourself food, but is also starting to provide more habitat for things like microbes and fungi and the smaller animals and insects that we don't see, that along the food chain it all adds up. So that really helped me when I was struggling with this big piece of land that we have. It's not ours, I don't own it. But I really want to make it beautiful and provide habitat and leave places better than they were before. which I hope that other people end up doing as well. So it's getting very humid here, and I am very ready to go back in the aircon. It's one thing about the subtropics is it's just impossible to work outside all day. I wish I could be in the garden for longer, and sometimes, like yesterday, I was in the garden for like 5 hours or so, but by the end of it, as soon as I hit the bed, I just crashed and was so exhausted. So I'm having to recover a little bit today. I'm not going to do too much strenuous garden work. I was making a bunch of compost yesterday and planting like 20 plants, but I am just going to enjoy the garden today, enjoy the 26th, which is Australia Day, and just be grateful for what we have now. So I hope you enjoyed this random little Australia Day video. I hope you all have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And make sure you hit the like button of this video and subscribe for more videos like this. And let me know what you want to see down in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and until my next one, happy gardening. Bye.